Good afternoon. This is my second attempt at making a dating video. I don't know if the lighting and the professionalism is right. I don't know if the glare is too much. Not a professional videographer. But I wanted to take this time, instead of just being presented by a Match.com photo or a Facebook photo, or just being some static um, profile and being judged by that. I wanted to, give you some additional dimensions to see. I use in my Match.com profile a joke that says, if we meet in person and you don't resemble the pictures of which you posted, in age, weight, etc., then I joke and say you're going to buy drinks until you do. So this whole thing about catfish, hopefully this video will help. What am I looking for? One of a kind. Um, she needs to be not afraid of change. I'm in the technology business. It changes all the time. I'm an entrepreneur. I've traveled the world already, and I have many places I want to go. I turned 56 on April 11th. Tomorrow, this recording on April 10th. And I actually consider it my 21st anniversary of my 35th birthday. You can judge how old I look or not, but I'm the most active, energetic guy that you'll ever meet. I exercise 5 and 6 days a week. I have for nearly 30 years. I've been called the Energizer Bunny. I go, 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 go. I listen to music that my kids do. My kids said, "Dad, don't grow up." My two daughters. Um, I'm not hung up on age. I think age is a state of mind. It's an attitude. I hope, God willing, I'm around 30 more years. Um, but I'm also a realist. After we get 60-ish, 70-ish, things, family medical history, things like that creep in, and that. So I live every day as if it's my last, and I kind of expect her to do the same. I use an analogy my grandfather gave me one time. He taught me how to break horses on the farm. You get bucked off, and you get back on, and you break the horse. And the horse, after they're broken, you can put your kids on its back, and not be afraid about. It's like going to do that. And if you go to these riding stables, and the horse just walks around, goes down the path, and the routine, etc. Unfortunately, that's how many relationships kind of get into it, and whether one individual has control or whether the relationship as a whole just gets a governance of routine, that ain't going to happen to me, and I'm not interested in that at all. When I say one of a kind, I mean one of a kind. I was born in Kentucky. I left Kentucky in 1984. I went to New Orleans to school. I went in the Navy. I went around the world. I lived in Hawaii for 7 years. I graduated from the University of Hawaii. How many poor middle-class boys from the state of Kentucky, the city of Louisville, graduate from the University of Hawaii, attend Tulane University, earn masters and PhDs, live in Florida for 30 years on the beach. I'm an entrepreneur. This is my fourth company, SettleNow.com, and it's probably my last. As I look at the future of my life, I have a plan. I've had a plan since I was 25, it's important. They say everything is so hard to date, and I'm watching the time. We're trying to make it 6 minutes at most. It's really hard to date at this time frame. It is, because when we're in our 20s, we're looking for attraction. We haven't even decided who we're going to be, who we're going to be professionally, who we're going to be as adults, who we're going to be as parents. What are we going to expect of our lives? It makes dating much more simple. When we get at this phase of our life, we have to be thinking about retirement. We have to be thinking about equity. We got to be thinking about what do we want? Our children, routines and holiday traditions and all that of our children, and the disruption of that would bring us up. And you say it's difficult. It's virtually impossible. We live in Florida, or I do, and people say, you can't even count boats down there, and it's crazy. There's too much sun, and everybody's been their heads cooked with the beach and too much rum. Well, there's some truth to that, because this state's full of crazies. And I did a survey when I first came to Fort about 6 years ago, and my friend and his wife, my dearest friends, and they've been married for nearly 30 years, and they haven't dated in 30 years, but she always likes to advise me on dating. And she challenged me to come up with people I'd like to be like couples that I'd go like, that's the kind of marriage I want to have. And I named 6, 8, 10 people that day. And we quickly all determined that all of them had met their wives or husbands outside of Florida and moved here. They didn't meet them in Florida. So, the Florida, I say, is like the Wizard of Oz. You got a scarecrow, what doesn't have a brain, and a Tin Man doesn't have a heart, and a lion doesn't have any courage, and Dorothy's got a red slippers. She wants to get back to Kansas, and you have the Oz character. It's like dating. It really, truly is. So, that said, I'm not discouraged. I'm not geographically bound. When I find her, and I'm going to know, my parents met on a blind date. And basically that date never ended until my mom died, and they were married 52 years. And people go, oh, Dad, that's the old days. That can't happen. Bullshit. I'm a total romantic. Okay? And if you don't believe that can happen, you sure don't have any time around me. I talk a lot. I have a southern accent. When I drink, it gets worse. I love southern people. I like college football. I like wine. I like cooking. I like boating. You can't see, but I'm in a sports coat, but I'm also in shorts and flip-flops. Flip-flops about 365 days a year, and shorts about 365 days a year. That's why I live in the tropics. Okay? Could I move back up north? No, not in the winter, but I could spend what I call co-location if she's, up north. I've been looking in Kentucky. I like Kentucky girls. I'm from Kentucky. They eat what I like. They like the sports I like. They grew up much like I did. But I have to believe there's some girls between 40 and 55 that want to move to Florida. They're done with their kids, and they're ready to go. So that's the quickest summary and trying to keep this light. And she's out there, and I know she's out there. And when I find her, just like my parents, if I have to go and live with her while she finishes that, or she has her job certain where, her family, and she just doesn't want to, I'm okay. I just want to spend time on my boat in Florida. And the rest of my life, I'm going to say is I'm not super rich, but I'm comfortable. And what I want to do is I want to be in these shorts, teach online, teach college classes online, mediate, arbitrate. My company, SettleNow.com. It's a cloud-based dispute resolution settlement or site where you can come online no matter where you are, what kind of conflict, and we assign a mediator and arbitrator. So, it'd be great if my future mate had some business interests and we could combine and do some great things. But at least she needs to have what I call some philanthropic interest where we can do some stuff for people in the next phase of my life. Because I really just want to eat, cook, smile, laugh, teach, mediate, mentor, help young people, help society be better. And I know that sounds trivial, but that's what I do. That's my passion. I'm an early riser, and I'm early to bed. If you like to sleep late in the weekends, I'll leave you alone. You can sleep. But, if you don't exercise, I'm probably not your guy. I'm so active. Today, as an example, I did 10 miles with a friend of mine that's visiting from Kentucky. So I'm crazy on exercise and go. I feel like when you get in the urn or the coffin, you got a lot of time to rest. In the meantime, I don't want to miss any of my life. And so, that said, 8 minutes. I go to Kentucky Derby every year. I love New Orleans. I love New York City. I love San Francisco. I like Tahoe. I like the Pacific Coast Highway. I ride a Harley. If you don't ride a Harley, I guess I can sell the Harley. It's not that important as boating. If you say you don't boat, we wouldn't get along. If you're uptight, we wouldn't get along. If you don't like spicy food or slightly spicy food, probably not your guy. If you're a person who just only eats salads and you're a vegetarian, at this point in life, that's what's difficult about dating at this point in life. If you're so set in your ways, and I'm setting my ways, but I want to say, don't try to change me. Challenge me to be a better person. And any two people can combine and make more than what any one person can. So I hope this provides an introduction. I hope it doesn't scare anybody. I'm intense, funny, laid back. You get me on a glass of wine and cooking. I'm just so much different. Get me on a glass of wine, cooking, and on a boat. Great. I'm passionate as hell. I'm not batshit crazy. I'm batshit passionate. And so, folks, that's me. I'd like, I need people's help. So if you got friends, well, you're not my kind of guy, but I know this person, then forward it. I am not afraid to use technology. I'm not afraid to act outside the box. I'm not looking within my zip code. She's out there, and I'm going to find her wherever she is. And I hope you're sharing that attitude. God bless. And yes, I'm a very spiritual person, and I do believe there's a power greater than myself that governs this crazy world.